Delaney is on her way back to the restaurant she works at to get her tips that she forgot. And when she gets there, she hears her boss, the owner of the restaurant, arguing with somebody in one of the back rooms. She goes and just kind of looks because she's curious, because he sounds very angry. She's never heard him yell or anything before. And she pulls up her camera for some reason on her phone, and she's recording what's going on. And she ends up catching on camera her boss shooting this person. So she bolts. She runs. She's looking at her phone as she runs, and she realizes her boss's son had texted her to tell her that she had left her apron with her tips at the restaurant. So they knew that she was probably coming back. So she knew she had to get out of town. She ends up running to the first open business she finds, just because she wants to be somewhere public for a minute, so she can calm down and rest for a little bit. It turns out to be a arranged match agency, and she ends up stealing a file for a woman who was matched to somebody in Georgia. She's in New York, so she's like, okay, Georgia, I can drive to Georgia. Since she did not give her new address that she had just moved to a couple of months earlier, she figured it was safe to go home long enough to get a few things and her cat. So she does, and then she just heads for this address in Georgia. She calls the lady from the file to tell her that her match has been canceled. But when she gets there, it is a massive estate. Like, mansion, huge amounts of grounds, but it's in this tiny town called Nocturne Falls, which is the name of the series, and every day is Halloween. It's the tourist gimmick. Every day is Halloween, and all the shops are named after Halloween stuff, all that kind of thing. So it's lots of fun, very, very touristy town. She gets there, she starts getting to know the guy, and they actually kind of kick it off. Things click really easily for them. They go into town a few times, and they run into one of his ex-girlfriends, who happens to be a reporter, and this woman is still angry that he broke up with her. So she does some digging about this woman that he's now dating, and finds out that she's not really who she says she is. She doesn't know who she is, but she is not the woman she is claiming to be. So it all comes out why she's there. She tells the guy, this is what happened, this is why I'm here, and I understand if you're angry and want me to leave. He says, it's fine, as long as who you have been with me is actually you. And she doesn't like pretending to be somebody else, especially someone she doesn't know. So, in everything but her name, she has been herself. So, they get past that. Well, it turns out that very soon after that, she finds out his little secret, which is he is a vampire. His family bought this town a couple hundred years ago, and he was part of the original family that bought this town. So she's freaked out, but she decides she can live with it because she has actually started to get to know him, and he hasn't done anything threatening or made her uncomfortable about anything, so they work through that. And so she wants the relationship to have an actual chance, and they decide that even though he is adamant about not changing her into a vampire, because when he was first changed, he tried to change his wife, and she died. So she's just horrified at this chance. Well, they deal with a threat from her boss, and he decides he can't live without her, so he agrees to try it. and of course it ends right when she is waking up from being going through the change.